So Bradford in possession start of this second half, trailing by 12.
I think all the players realise, as well as the coach Steve McNamara, that they've got to try to get some points on the board pretty early, because Warrington, when they get the ball out wide, both right and left, they've got so much power and strength and speed out there. And the balls have been caught out napping quite a few times in that first 40. That's
Adrian
good work.
Morley there in the tackle on Heath Lestrange. People just might forget that Morley, he won the grand final with the Bradford Bulls in 2005. A 6-game stint at the end of his NRL season down under, a la Andrew Johns, who came over from Warrington. And it was Morley's 6th and final game. There's the final score from Perpignan. Catalan Dragons have won for the first time in 9 matches. They'd lost and lost and lost. But, well, Wakefield's agony goes on. And of course, as I said earlier, the knock-on here by Nicky Hyam. And was it a knock-on by the Bradford player? It was. It's head and feet to Warrington.
Yeah, he got the arm down. All spotted by Ian Smith.
I was just going to say, the little subplot that surrounded that Catalan-Wakefield game today was the fact that John Keir being linked with a move to Perpignan at the end of the year. It's all still to be confirmed, of course, or denied by either party.
From Pontefract to Perpignan, that's a first.
Well, he's been over there before, hasn't he? It was Paris Saint-Germain, wasn't he? Early days of Super League.
Speaks it well.
The Pontefract accent. Here's Hyam again.
Now this is where Bradford have got to be very, very cautious, because they'll do the link, or will they do another drive?
Grix. Oops. And Carvel. He just lost that ball in flight. He's been out there a lot longer than I thought he would be. Tony Smith saying before the match he was going to probably use him in short bursts, short spells. Nothing wrong with his fitness, just a little bit off the pace in terms of match fitness.
Well, to be fair, he's nearly had 15 minutes rest at half-time. We've only virtually going into.
Yeah, he came on fairly handy in the first half, though, didn't he?
Yes, I know that, but he had the 10 minutes rest.
Well, you had quarter of an hour rest and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Warrington. Good tackle
defense.
by Grix.
Yeah. They're working well. Not only have they got the power, Warrington, in the forward pack, they've got some real big fellas out wide as well.
This is Southernwood. That's the last tackle for Bradford.
Got to utilise the sun, but they haven't. They've gone on that short side. Oh!
Horrible bounce. Menzies will score for Bradford. First blood, second half to Steve Menzies and the Bradford Bulls. With a shocking bounce. Fooled Chris Riley and company completely. And bounced perfectly for this fella. And, well, it just keeps on going, doesn't it, for Steve Menzies. Ever present. Centre in the cup run. Back row all in Super League until tonight. 5 tries in the last 6, but nothing last week.
Well, I thought they'd taken the wrong option, because they should have utilised the lengthening shadows there, but talk about a shocking bounce. Nothing that Chris Riley could do about that. Take nothing away with a beautiful kick. This was great stuff. Wonderful stuff by Carney. Kick over the top. And the old stager said, we ain't done yet.
Well, viewers who watched the State of Origin may have seen Billy Slater create a try for Queensland because he was prepared to chase a kick so hard. Steve Menzies has just done exactly the same. Prepared to chase the kick as if your life depends on it, because every now and again it will bounce in your favour. It's 4 more valuable points for Bradford. It's a massive boost of energy and confidence and hope for the young players on the field. And if Paul Sykes put 2 more on the scoreboard, they might just fancy the chances of an upset.
Sykes has put 2 more points on the scoreboard, and an effervescent run from the oldest guy in Super League, Steve Menzies, 36 years, young years.
Super big man as well. Good work. The strange kick, it bounces awkwardly for Riley. And Menzies sets the crowd alight. Now consolidate, don't come up with the error. That's what Steve McNamara will want. good, hard, solid work, try to get anywhere near the halfway line, then get the kick in good chase.
Well, it's given them encouragement for this second half, there's no doubt about that. Here goes Heath Lestrange. And there's a player out in back play. Taken out, was he? Behind the run from Lestrange. I think he was. It's incident that happened to Godwin off the ball. Well, he hit the deck. Mike Cooper was in close attendance.
Yeah, I think he got the shoulder to him. Yep. And boy, Godwin playing loose forward today.
Oh, hello, I don't think they found
touch
shocker
here. What a shocker that is. Well, just when they've got the tempo, they've got everything going for them. Come up with a try from Menzies, cock a hoop, and then they just do a stupid thing like that.
This is Louis Anderson now. Griggs, dummy half. Cooper gets the ball away to Griggs again. He gets past Sykes, but can't get away from the next man in. Great Kopjak. Now Breers. And Solomona decides just to straighten it up. Takes the fourth tackle, though, this set of 6. Bridge. Wood. And last tackle here for Warrington. Breers with a dink to the corner. Ricky Sharif has got that ball, but is trapped in the in-goal area by Atkins. And the referee, first of all, gave the goal line dropout, and then gives a penalty to Bradford for the second push on Sharif by Atkins.
Well, appeal to the official, and you'll get what you want. And I think he's got it right, because the ball carrying arm, it's the... Yeah, it's not in the in-goal area, and then Atkins does the second roll on him.
So Bradford, from the penalty, try and work this ball away from their own line, having scored first in this second half. Down to Bill.
Eddie, some bad news for the Bradford Bulls. A lot of positives around the camp at the moment. One negative is the fitness of Nick Scruton, who came out for the second half with his left knee heavily strapped. We saw him go off towards the middle of the first half with that problem, and they're worried that it could be ligament damage. And given the problems they've got elsewhere, the last thing they need is another one of their experienced big players out of the game.
You're right, and he's been ever present for them this season, Nick Scruton. He's been a tower of strength for them, and with Andy Lynch also out injured at the moment, it doesn't get any easier, does it, for Steve McNamara and the Bulls? But here they come forward with Carney. Oh, and that kick ricochets off a Warrington leg. Breers has picked it up. Oh, and the ball has been lost. Oh, it's been stolen.
Oh, the fans don't like that. Well, the build-up was superb by Bradford. Just the kick didn't get to it right. Nero couldn't get to it, and then Breers gets to it. Yeah, there was 2-on-1 there. Dave Halley was involved. Just as Carney ripped the ball away. Boy, what a relief that is, because they were building in confidence for the Bulls.
This is Solomon again, and this time he is ruled to have dropped it.
That will be a knock-on.
Bradford have it back. Gaining in confidence, Bradford.
Certainly are, but it looked to be a double knock-on there. One going back. The Bradford fans got it.
Lestrange for Bradford. Great ball, Paul Sykes. Sykes has got support from Halley. Under the sticks. Bradford are going to be level in the moment. Steve McNamara's worked the oracle at half-time. And they will fancy their chances now.
Will they ever? This will square it up, surely. Sykes made the break. There was a right commotion over on the far side of the field. It looked as though there was a knock-on. It was not seen by the official Ian Smith. Bradford didn't mess around. That went backwards, and then was it a knock-on? Either way, it's Sykes that makes the break. Westwood couldn't get to him. Back on the inside, and Halley said, let's get under the sticks. Make it easy for the conversion. The first clean break we've seen from Paul Sykes. Support from Halley is outstanding.
Great try from Dave Halley. Switched to the wing this week. Try last week, a glorious try in the cup win, rather than the cup defeat against Warrington. And a very important try here that Paul Sykes is about to convert. And if he scoops this over the bar, it'll be 22 apiece. A great fight back again by the Bradford Bulls. Sykes adds the extras. Game on, 22 all.
Hold on to your seats. This is absolutely tremendous stuff. Remember, Wigan, they visited here. They looked as though they had the game in the bag, and then all of a sudden, the half-time coach, half-time talk from the coach, Steve McNamara, turned it all around. Boy, can they do it again. Warrington is shell-shocked.
Well, let's not forget that both tries have come directly from errors. Gareth Carvell put a ball down on about the 40-metre line. Bradford went on to score off the next set. David Solomona's lost a ball, and Paul Sykes has set up a lovely try for David Halley to go and score. So 2 errors. Tony Smith's talk at half-time clearly hasn't worked just yet, because I'm sure that he was concerned about that. We saw some signs of that in the first half, and the way Bradford were always going to get back in the game was remain physical and try to force some errors, and they've done that so far. They've been by far the dominant side in the first 11 minutes.
The only problem here is a penalty now for Bradford. The only problem you can see for Steve McNamara, they've lost Nick Scruton, and we have yet to see Albison and Addy, the youngsters. Just I wonder whether the numbers will work against Bradford Bulls later on in this match.
Yeah, but they've got the tails up now, Eddie. They really have got a confident look about them. And the one thing that I've got to admire about it is that they're taking the risk. They're going into the tackle and trying to offload in impossible positions. They did it again then, got the penalty eventually, but they scored 2 tries in the first half by doing just that.
Good hands from Bradford across the line. This is Sykes. Tackled number 2, Grix and Hyam. Here is Glenn Hall again. Wants to get on with it, looking at the referee, saying, I'm trying to get to my feet. They won't let me. Kane, Southernwood. And the ball out wide.
It hasn't been seen.
Bounces off 1, bounces off 2. Can't get away from the next couple. Bradford with their tails up here. 7 metres short of the line. Southernwood again. Fires the pass.
Early.
This is Sykes. Sykes to Menzies. Menzies backing himself against this defence. Gets the ball away brilliantly to Sykes.
Got to be a good kick. Over into the corner where the sun's into the eyes.
And Bradford with this wind at their backs. It is Southernwood. Up it goes. But after this, ball's knocked on. Warrington. Well, Scruton is there, and he was doubtful, we thought, but looks like he's coming back on, Bill. Is that right?
It looks like it. That left knee strapped up, and the word from the bench was that they're going to have a look at him, see how he warmed up. And he's obviously made his case for coming back on, but I have to say, when he was warming up, it wasn't moving that smoothly, Nick Scruton. But with the resources stretched for the Bulls, if they could get a player like Nick Scruton out there in a situation like this, against a team like this, then that could be crucial.
Hyam goes up the middle. Tackle, though, on tackle number 3. This is Hyam. That's good work at marker. Terrific tackling there from Glenn Hall.
They're certainly up for it, that is for sure. Now, it's discipline now has got to go through this camp. Don't give away a silly penalty. Don't make a mistake. Will the kick and chase be good from Breers?
It's almost a hit and hope from Breers. It's far too deep.
Well, the line up on the 30-metre. Not surprisingly, the Bulls not rushing into it. They know the importance now. It's all square.
Well, they came here cock-a-hoop, Warrington, and a great run of form. Bradford not beaten them for 2 years, and they'd lost 4 in a row.
Just shows you, though, that sometimes a half-time talk from your coach can work both ways. It certainly has worked for the Bulls, and it's been an impressive performance.
It has.
Especially after the last fortnight. Must have been in the doldrums. You know, the heads were down last week. They got hammered by Huddersfield a week before that. And they've come up with a great performance in the second half. They've got to keep it going, though.
That record of Bradford's over the past 2 years, of course, is here at Odsal. They won at the Halliwell Jones last year. Here is young Crossley again, knocking on the door of the first team for a while, this fellow. Former academy tourist to Australasia. Good charge down, and it's 6 to go with Carney.
Oh, it's a shame that Carney couldn't offload it. Warrington were a little bit disorganised out there on that right-hand side in their defensive line.
They're building the pressure, Bradford. Here's Godwin.
Inside pass, there's the charge down.
Here's Kane Southernwood. This is Warrensey.
Sykes will be looking to control things.
Lestrange. There's Sykes. Carney running off him. Short ball. Nero did well. He thought about the pass wide to Halley. Hung on. Halley was the dummy half. Not the best pass. Lestrange again. He goes down on the last. The 12 metres short of the line, Bradford. The tails are up, though, after the start to the second half. Sykes. Lovely little kick. Just too long. Just caught the breeze, that.
Idea was good. Disappointment on the face of Steve McNamara. He knows that the pressure.
Well, the pressure's on his team. The pressure's on him as well, of course. He's leaving at the end of the season to take the England job full-time. And so everything will be scrutinised to the nth degree between now and his England appointment that begins with the Four Nations at the end of the year. And I rather think, even though, you know, that they've got this growing injury list, that and the days of the 5 consecutive grand finals might be long gone, but having missed the playoffs last year, they don't want to miss out in 2010 if they can. They want to send Steve McNamara off in the best possible way. This is Westwood.
Well, they're playing with a lot more spirit now. This should be a high one from Breers, going on that blind side.
Crossfield kick, looking for Riley, who's sprinting after it. And has it come up for Riley? I think it has. It's the second try for Riley. Menzies picked his pocket when the ball bounced horribly at the other end, started this second half, and Riley has just given him the payback, because Menzies was waiting for this ball to drop down out of the sky. It bounced, and Riley came up behind him and took the ball off him and plonked it down underneath the post. Warrington are back in front.
Wonderful move, though, by Lee Breers. It looked as though he was just going to go for position on that blind side, but no, right across the face of the goal. Bounced around and just hung around a little bit too much there, did Steve Menzies. And as Eddie mentioned, he's had his pocket picked by Riley. He's onside. Just a little bit too late there, Menzies. That's wonderful work from Riley.
And a very intelligent kick from Lee Breers.
He can come up with the trumps when they need them, and boy, did they need them on that occasion.
He's added the extras, Breers. 28-22.
I thought what was so impressive about that try, Eddie, was the maturity Warrington showed. They actually just played a very simple game to work up to that part of the field. One-man carries by big, tough, strong carriers who got them into that zone of the field. They didn't think we've got to magic our way out of our own half of the field by passing it sideways or offloading and taking risks. They were conservative, and then they put all of the effort from Chris Riley onto that last play. And I wonder whether there's an element of Andrew John's influence, who worked with Warrington at the start of the season with some of the kicks. I know he was probably one of the first players to actually do that banana-style kick it the opposite way to where you're looking or running, and it's paid off very well for Warrington with that.
Good run from Louis Anderson from the restart.
Good defence as well from Bradford. They're moving up as a unit, but they were caught out a couple of times in the first 40 out wide, and but I think they'll just for position.
Oh, that's great play there. This is Grix. Here is Atkins, and Atkins is going in. 2 quick tries for Warrington. Restores what will be a 12-point advantage because he's under the sticks. Breers won't miss that. Tony Smith barks the instruction down the walkie-talkie. The pass, though, that found Grix didn't quite catch who put the pass in, but it was a magnificent flat ball, and Grix hit it at pace and was past the defender.
Super
That's
stuff.
Monaghan, inevitably.
Yeah. Kept his cool. Great position there by Ryan Atkins. Any youngster watching this game and you want to support a player, look where the full-back is, right? I'm coming inside, I've got one out. He has to commit the full-back. That's a great try. Quality.
Well, the
From
fight
start to
back
finish.
has been evaporated by, first of all, Chris Riley, who, with his second try tonight, has joined Pat Richards of Wigan at the top of the try-scoring charts this year, and then with Ryan Atkins and surely, yes, the second successful conversion from Lee Breers. It's 34-22 in the Warrington Wolves' favour.
Well, just when it looked as though the Bulls were going to take control of this game, Monaghan, so often the architect, did well, didn't he? Greg says, where are you? I'm back on the inside. Lovely position.
Well, if you look down the tail of the tape of this game, all Warrington's tries have come in quick bursts. 5 minutes of the first half, 2 tries. They led 10-0. Then they were pegged back to 10-all. Then 2 tries in 8 minutes, back end of the first half, 22-10 half-time. And there's a mistake. And here come Bradford again. We've just had 2 in 2 minutes for the Warrington Wolves. But now they're on the back foot again as we approach the last 20 minutes. In fact, we're into the last 20 minutes of this match.
Well, that was a place to kick it. You can see the lengthening shadows right into the corner. It would have been a big of a problem.
This is Crossley. And the Addies out there, number 32. I heard Tom Alberson's name being mentioned by the announcer as well. He just made the dummy run then. Oh, Carney's over! That's tremendous Bradford response. Fantastic Bradford response to 2 quick tries. Carney, wonderful movement. Bamboozled the Warrington defence completely. And Carney, he's their top scorer for Bradford. That's his 8th in Super League, his 11th in all. And Brett Carney at fullback, his preferred position.
It's a set piece as well. Came with the error right into the eyes of the winger, and he had a real mess of it, did Chris Hicks. Watch for the inside running now from the big fella. Comes through and he sees the fullback coming on the angle. That is outstanding. That's what they've been practicing out on the training paddock. And didn't he come at the right moment? Came on the angle. That is an outstanding 4-pointer. It's game on again.
It is, because Sykes will not miss this. We've got a high-scoring match here. 28 to Bradford, 34 to Warrington. He's not giving it away, even those 2 tries in quick succession. And Tony Smith, his men build leads and then tend to throw them away.
Well, the dangerous side that didn't get the side in the last few minutes. Nobody expected this Bradford side to take Warrington so close, but at the moment, as it stands, all of the pressure, I think, Eddie, rests on the Warrington team. They're expected to win. They're higher up in the league. They've got a stronger side out on paper. So I think that allows Bradford, to some extent, to play with a freedom that we haven't seen before. And I would suspect, with the coach leaving, Eddie, 7 of the Bradford players' future is still up in the air. Until they appoint a new coach, the club won't make a decision on re-signing several of them. That may be the case for some other backroom staff. So there's a period here now where they are out to impress.
You're right. Do you find, Phil, that it's slightly concerning? Well, not concerning, because he's signed a 3-year deal, but I just wonder why they would have signed Paul Sykes on a 3-year deal this week, when the coaching vacancy's not in, been sorted out, not in concrete yet.
Well, I think that because they've done that they have had discussions to whoever is going to be appointed, and he would have said, yeah, we'll keep Sykes. Simple as that. Surely they wouldn't have said, well...
have you any inside track on all this? Have you had a text from someone?
No. I feel it in my water.
I think you'll find they signed Paul Sykes for a couple of reasons. One is because he's been a long-term player at the club, and he has provided a lot of service and loyalty. I know he went to Harlequins for about 3 years. The other thing is he's a homegrown player. I think that's the most important thing. Next season you have to have 8 homegrown players in your 25, and Paul Sykes certainly has to fit that bill as one of the best 8 of this in the club of homegrown players.
Atkins got the ball away then to King, but the call on his inside was from Southernwood. Well, Kane Southernwood might only be 18, but he's savvy, isn't he? Starred for England Academy against France in Villeneuve last week, and he's produced the possession that gives Bradford a relieving penalty for offside.
Well, I'm not so sure why Matt King decided to offload. Only he perhaps knows about it, but just hard work. I've been really impressed with the way that the youngsters that Steve McNamara have had to just throw onto the paddock. They've really brushed up hard and fast. Got through a lot of work, nothing fancy, but at least they've had the opportunity to risk it, try to get rid of the ball in tight positions.
Southernwood's come into this game in the second half more and more, hasn't he? The number 31, the little scrum half who I mentioned starred there. He's just stood behind that play the ball by Heath Lestrange. He started last week for the academy. There he is.
Listen, if your forwards are working hard, he'll give your half back a chance.
Ooh,
big hit.
It was a collision between Carney and Monaghan, that.
He would have felt that as well.
Last one, Sykes. Crossfield kick. That's going to be 6 to go.
No. He said this is the last. Well, surely a Warrington player.
I think he's got this one.
Yeah, I do. Well, the Bradford crowd don't like it.
Where's the touch judge in all this? He must have seen this, sure.
Well, I think the touch judge has given him the... That's definitely...
Yeah, Steve Menzies knocks it back, though. He's the last player to touch it, I think, Steve-O.
Well, Atkins, I should say, gets a fingertip to it.
Yeah, but Atkins couldn't knock it that far, could he, back at that rate, unless it's the right hand of Menzies attempting to knock it back past the propeller.
If he touched it, then it's back to play on.
I'm going with you, Steve-O. If Ryan Atkins has played at the ball, and it constitutes 6 to go, doesn't it?
Yep.
Interesting point here in what have we had, nearly 27 minutes of the second half. And Warrington probably, this is about as close as they've been to the try line. They really haven't spent any time in Bradford's 20-metre zone at all. I know they've scored 2 tries.
Two long-range tries.
Yeah, exactly. And they've not put Bradford under any pressure. That's why a lot of the players on Bradford's team still look fairly fresh. Southernwood, as you said, Eddie's coming into play a lot because they're not being tested. They're not really had any pressure built on their own line.
But Warrington are under pressure. They really are.
Yeah.
Mistake by Bridge.
Yeah, when you're coming out with errors like that, they're not respecting the football.
Well, Bridge, of course, is a former Bradford bull himself. This is the 100th start of his Warrington career. He didn't hang on to that pass, though.
They just have had no position or possession for any length of time of the Warrington side. And they must be gaining in confidence now, the Bradford Bulls.
Heath Lestrange, Carney, ball in field. Kopchak steps through them. Oh, was that a knock-on? No.
He tried to offload.
They're going down that left side again. Oh, there's the knock-on from Sykes.
He was definitely on. He just came at the angle. Good work as well by Chris Nero. He held him down and made sure he couldn't get a quick play of the ball.
Pass just has too much pace on it, doesn't it? Bullets off his chest.
Matt King again for Warrington up the middle. He goes to halfway.
Well, at least he's showing the forwards what they need. A little bit more aggression from the pack from this Warrington outfit.
Monaghan had to take that tackle. There was nobody running off him then. Here's Hyam. Wood. Looks for the offload, gets it away to Hyam. Monaghan now.
Trouble is they're standing still. No one's running onto the football. That's good defence.
Louis Anderson. Still on tackle number 5 here. Grix. Oh, brilliant ankle tap by Sykes and knocked up by Carney.
We threw a dummy, went right into it. Good work by Sykes. Under a lot of pressure, just got the ball away in time. Now this Warrington's really got to up the gear now. They really have in that defence.
Just going to ask you, Mike, me and you have spoken about this at many Bradford games. What position does Paul Sykes play best in? Centre, winger, fullback, standoff. We've seen him in all 4 for both club and country at times in a variety of the different roles. He's been at his best tonight. Is it a freedom that he needs to be able to play in any position?
Well, I think this year he's played some great games at standoff, but last week he was shocking and he knows it, but he's certainly made up for it today. It's got to be a good kick and chase.
He played in 4 positions. Here he is in the ball now with a kick. He played in 4 positions in 1 half of an international, didn't he? Not long ago.
Yeah, sadly.
Paul Sykes.
Sadly, remember
Well,
England,
3 then, okay.
Yeah, well, England were cruising against New Zealand, and they made what, 5 changes, then fell in a heap. And poor Sykes, 3 positional changes.
It was in Newcastle.
Yep, I remember it well.
Just saw Chris Riley catch a very high ball from Paul Sykes, and in the first half we saw him get in all sorts of trouble, didn't we? So he's obviously playing with a bit more confidence now as Chris Riley. I know he scored the try from Lee Breer's kick. He's had a bit of a mixed game in many respects.
That looked a forward pass from this angle up here, and the crowd thought so as well. Breers, and he just kicks that
Great
downfield.
kick. That is a wonderful kick. Dissected the 2 wingers and the fullback.
He just bought a bit of land for his club then, didn't he?
And I tell you who he's working overtime, and a few of the Warrington players should take a leaf out of his book, and that's Matt King. He's working himself as a centre, but running like a forward. He's done more carry-ups than any of the forwards over the last 10-15 minutes.
I was going to say, Eddie, the 40-20 player was on, but it's gone now. I think that somehow Bradford need to get close to the line. They won't score from there. Penalties have helped them to get into positions for some of the tries in the second half.
Sharif picks himself up.
And another
This is
drive.
Glenn Hall.
Right into the corner where the sun is going to affect.
There's nobody stood out there yet at the moment. Hicks and Riley have dropped back. There it goes up into that area, though. It's a dodgy one for Riley. Ooh.
How did he take that? He got his body all wrong, position all wrong, and boy.
And the sun was in his eyes as well.
Yeah, got a bit of a blessing. I mean, that's the right tactics.
Well, Bradford now will hunt the mistake into the last 10 minutes here.
Got to be careful not to give away a penalty. It is so important. Discipline plays a key now.
Westwood couldn't get the pass away, and someone was pulled back. I think it was the Bridge. Was it Bridge?
Yeah, Kopchak was the culprit. Yeah, what's called Kopchak gets hold of the Bridges' shirt. Oh, and I say discipline. Maybe tired legs just showing up now as we just less than 8 minutes remaining.
If Warrington are going to work for a drop goal, Eddie, it's from this position. They've had a resting player there now to allow them 10 seconds to set up for that. They're going to get themselves close enough here, and they'll have enough tackles to go for it. I would say at those 2 points, here's a potential for it.
It is, and Breers has kicked 1 in each of the last 2 games. They're going for 4, though, with Monaghan.
Well, they've had little possession and little position against close to the line.
Breers is screaming for it in centre field underneath the sticks. Hyam is going to pinch another, is he? He is.
He'll go to the screen.
Has he or hasn't he? Hyam thinks he has.
Just checking the grounding.
He's checking the grounding, that's all, in a response to a query from Brett Carney.
And again, he throws a dummy. I think he gets this down. We'll soon see. We'll soon see. That is try time, and boy, what a vital time to get the 4-pointer. So close to the sticks. Surely this will be converted. This is confirmation.
2 on this ground last year and 2 on this ground tonight for Mickey Hyam. Well, they say great teams can win when they don't play to their optimum. I don't think Warrington have played to their optimum for full 80 minutes tonight, but they have scored some vital tries at vital moments of the game. Is that the one that seals this win for the Warrington Wolves?
But it's going to be very difficult for the Bulls to get back into it, but fair play again to Hyam. That's the second occasion that he's gone in from close range, and he's an important player. Tony Smith, fully aware of him, is a super sub at the moment.
Breers with this 2010 kicking style of his, where he raises the knee and clips it over the bar. 40-28, points galore. Sean, a point-a-thon.
Well, yes, it is, but I think the important thing here, Eddie, from a Warrington point of view, is that I don't think they've been anywhere near their best yet. They've still scored 40 points. I know they've played against a Bradford Bulls side that are depleted with some of the some real key players, but at the same time, to be able to come up and score 40 points, yes, they've leaked 28 points as well, but I think Bradford have played very well here tonight under the circumstances.
This is a dodgy one into the sun, And the experienced Westwood says, I'll take it. Now, this is the one thing that Warrington like to do. They like to attack from deep within their own quarter.
There is a slight problem for Bradford, despite the fact that they have played very well here tonight. They have now conceded 40 or more in each of the last 3 games.
Well, if you're a side outside of the top 8, Eddie, I think they'd be one of your targets to pick at the moment. They're tumbling down the
Wakefield
league.
have lost, haven't they, in the south of France tonight? Could have made a real difference.
We're into the final third, aren't we, though? There's 9 games left, really, for most teams after this weekend, and
Crusaders will be rubbing their hands, won't they? They've 5 points behind Bradford with a game in hand. Carney then for Bradford, halted by Grix.
And that's the one way to put the screw down, and that was a lovely kick by Lee Breers. That looked high from Morley. Got away with it. Defence will be the key factor. The one thing that I've admired about Warrington's sliding defence is that they work as a unit. It really has them well disciplined as their coach, Tony Smith.
No way through for Warrancy inside the last 5 minutes. Warrington ahead by 12 points.
Got to be something like a chip over the top, Eddie, something different.
Well, it will, but this is the last one. Bradford have still not given it up, but there has to be something special here. He's gone for a 40-20. It's picked up by Matt King. Riley's on his inside. Riley saw something ahead of him, and it was Danny Addy.
He's had a good game as well. Okay, he came with a couple of errors with kicking the ball into the low sun, into that far corner, but he's done his job as Chris Riley.
Sykes has dropped now to full-back with Carney leaving the field. This is Bridge.
Move 10 metres. Hold. Go.
Monaghan and Wood. That looked a bit high, but he shrugged the challenge off the chest of Hyam and backwards.
Surrender!
But I don't think they'll be bothering about the one. I think they'll be going for extra.
Last tackle. Breers, dink over the top.
Drop out, well diffused. But it just shows you
Hyam was hunting his hat-trick then.
Yeah, but it just shows you the enthusiasm that Warrington have in regards to. They could have gone for just the 1 point, just seal it up, but no, they want more and more and more. Good work by Lestrange. He's had a top game as well. He's back to top form. So is this fella, Nicky Hyam.
Man with the ball, nobody else. Remember.
But the man that really has impressed me has been Matt King. The amount of work that man has done, taking the ball up. I reckon he's had more rushes than any of the forwards.
Maybe with the exception of this fella, because Adrian Morley just never takes a backward step, does he?
No,
the one forward who really has stood up.
They've all got through the work, but at a time when they needed someone to settle things down, it's the big frame of Matt King that's done it.
Here's
Looks dangerous.
Short ball. Oh, a good tackle that by Nero to halt Ben Westwood. This is Atkins. Here is Wood, and he goes for it on his own. That's the fourth.
2 feet.
He's not happy, Wood, because he thought the tackle was completed and someone came in low.
Loose pass, picked up though by Bridge. Wide it goes to Chris Hicks. And that'll be the last for Warrington, this set of 6.
I think they'll run it. I think they'll go for broke.
Going down the short side, it's Bridge. It's still Bridge. It's still Bridge. He got the ball away. Good defence. Good defence from Kopjak.
Tremendous.
And Sykes.
But again, it shows you the adventure that Warrington outfit will go for.
Two minutes to go. Warrington's win. Warrington get the 2 points. No doubt about that.
But
they keep the heat on Wigan at the top, and Wigan Saints is on Sky Sports tomorrow.
It's been a struggle though, hasn't it? Much better display for Bradford, and they certainly needed it. As I mentioned before, Eddie, before we came in, a couple of the supporters said, surely we can't play as badly as we have done in the last 2 games. Well,
it's a defeat though, Steve-O. They won't be happy with that, but Steve McNamara gets the response that he wanted, I think.
Yeah.
That's a nice dink over the top by Sykes. Oh, and it's bounced perfectly again. Oh, It went behind one man, but it's picked up well by Addy, and here they come. It's Kopjak. Hicks gets to him, couldn't get the ball out wide to Halley.
Blind side. Oh, they've come on the own, they'll go for the kick.
Kane Southernwood, back to Sykes. Sykes then goes wide. Here is Halley. Oh, he's lost the ball over the line almost.
Can you believe it? He's knocked on.
Well, he's going to get Simbin too here, because I think he's just abused an official.
He reckons that it was reefed away, but either way, it's 1-on-1. It's a saver. I'm not so sure why he stepped.
Regardless, you do not abuse him, right? He's come up with the same call as I have. Calm down, Dave. I understand your frustration, but you missed the ball. No,
he's given the touch judge a mouthful, Dave Halley.
I think that's very lucky not to be in the Simbin.
Maybe if it was 60 minutes, he might have been. Only got 1 minute to go.
Well, it's the principle, not the
yes,
time.
I know, you're right.
Well, he certainly deserves a warning from the Rugby Football League over things like that. We can't afford to have that. Not in our sport. You've got to respect the officials.
Morley. Another Herculean effort from Adrian Morley. Monaghan. Westwood. 20 seconds remaining. Warrington looking for more right at the end of this match. Grix.
No.
King. King loses the ball under pressure from Sharif. And that will be it, I think. 5 successive League and Cup defeats now for Bradford Bulls and Steve McNamara. 5 successive League and Cup wins now for the Warrington Wolves. They maintain the pursuit of Wigan at the top. Wigan with a very difficult assignment tomorrow against St Helens. We shall see. But at this moment in time, the lead is down to just 2 points. It was not a vintage Warrington display by any stretch of the imagination, but they have done enough. They've scored 40 points. They've conceded 28. And with people like Matt Orford out of the side, it was always going to be an uphill struggle for the Bradford Bulls. And Warrington, well, you don't have to play well every week, so long as you play not to your best and still win, that will do.
But they just did enough, didn't they, Warrington? Not many opportunities, but when they did come their way in that second half, they poached them. They had enough ability to be able to get over the line. Some neat kicking from Lee Breers at times, but was wonderful effort by Matt King.
Well, Matt King is the man of the match. There he is, the haircut and all, and he's with Bill.
Matt, congratulations, spotless champagne. You look a bit surprised to get this.
Yeah, mate, it was a tough whole game out there. I didn't think I deserved man of the match, but we were pretty flat today, which was disappointing, but it's always good to get a win.
I think Steve-O's thinking was the work you did in the middle of the field. You had to do a fair bit of that.
Yeah, mate, our boys put a big effort in the middle. They do every week, Mozza and Benny Westwood, so, you know, it's my job. I played on the wing tonight, so I had to come and give him a hand.
As you said, a bit flat. Is that games catching up with you?
Mate, it's almost just it's this time of year, mate. You know, we're right smack bang in the middle of a long season, and it's quite hard to get to that 100% peak every weekend, but we've got to be professional outfit and do it, and tonight we didn't.
Well, if you can put 40 points on a team like Bradford, okay, I mean, Bradford might be going through it at the moment, but when it comes to a game like this, they obviously lifted, so it's not all bad news.
Yeah, I suppose if you're playing bad and still winning, you know, it's always a good sign, but full credit to Bradford, especially their young fellas. They've got a lot of injuries, they're going through a hard time, and yeah, a lot of credit to how they performed tonight.
You get the champagne, you also get £100 for a charity of your choice, and there's something very close to you at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, mate, this ugly mop's coming off in a couple of weekends, and all the money's going to Family United. They do a great job in Warrington, and I'd like to donate the £100 to them.
So you're going to get, with whatever the winner does, you're going to live with?
No, mate. It's just the number one, just taking all this off. But all I'm doing is getting my hair cut. It's the people at Families United that do all the great work, and it's a credit to be associated with them.
Looking forward to seeing the end result, Matt. Congratulations tonight.
Cheers, Bill. Thanks, mate.
Mickey Hyam got a couple of tries tonight, a couple of classic hookers poachers tries, weren't they?
Yeah, it's probably one of them games tonight. You know, we were way off pace by our own standards. You know, defensively we've we've been priding ourselves on our defence, and tonight they posed us some questions and some problems, and it's always nice to sneak over for a couple, but no, we're way off our best tonight, and so we'll probably in for a long video on Monday.
Well, you've set yourselves high standards this season, as Matt just said. I mean, it's hard to attain those standards week in, week out.
Yeah, it is. You know, we're going to have blips, and he said at half time, you know, there's players, a lot of our players off our game today. We need to buck up second half, and we probably didn't do that, but luckily enough, we kept 2 scores ahead, and but full credit to this young Bradford team. You know, they've got some injuries, and the young lads had a dig tonight and caused some problems, but you know, it's another win. You know, at this time of the year, we just need to keep getting wins, and I say we've got another tough one next week, Leeds.
Thanks, Ricky. Well done tonight. Well, Bulls captain Steve Menzies, they've mentioned the young guns out there, but the old guard aren't doing too bad.
Yeah, it's one of those games we sort of give them a couple of tries, or you know, they get a couple of tries and then we crawl back into it. Then they get another couple more and kick away. You know, they've got strength all around the field, so it's you know, we've got a few injuries, but as I said, the young kids I thought did great. We're still plugging away. Still plenty of games to go, so we've got a bit of work to do as well.
It's no consolation, but after the performance last week, that is a massive improvement, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We you know, we just talked about enthusiasm and passion and playing for each other, and you know, I thought it was there, just little glimpses, and you know, I think the bounce of the ball wasn't too kind for both sides today. There's it's pretty horrendous bounces, but you know, we fought hard. It was, you know, vastly improved from last week.
But you're still heading in the wrong direction, or rather you've lost that momentum you had early season. I suppose the good news tonight is Wakefield have lost in Perpignan, which doesn't do your prospects of a top 8 finish any harm, but you need to get that back in the saddle, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a momentum thing. Once you start winning, it flows on from there. Hopefully we'll get a couple of the boys back, some key players back next week. Next week would be nice. So you know, look forward to next week again and get out there. Good performance, but we really need 2 points.
Thanks, Steve.
No worries, cheers.
Yes, he's a realist, Steve Menzies. They played a lot better than last week, but they have still come out the wrong side of the register. And this Warrington side, they beat Hull Kingston Rovers 35-16 last week, missing 3 internationals. The 3 internationals returned tonight, and although not at their brilliant best, they have still had enough fuel in the tank to win this match, and they keep up their pursuit on Wigan at the top of the table.